Hi guys, it's Megan from Vigilante Vibes, and I am here with another character breakdown. Like always, I am going to cover the Marvel Universe's mutants, more specifically the underrated mutants of the Marvel world. So, who are we talking about today? Well, a very, very interesting character to say the least. Today we are talking about ForgetMeNot. The first appearance of the character ForgetMeNot was in X-Men Legacy, first series, number 300, published in 2012 and was created by Mike Carey, Simon Spurrier, and Christos Gage. ForgetMeNot has technically been an X-Men for over 6 years, probably joining before M-Day even happened. But because of the nature of his powers, people forget the second they're not looking at him. None of his teammates really ever noticed he was around, and he didn't show up on any official roster. The only reason Professor X remembered he existed at all was because he put a psychic reminder in his own mind that went off once an hour to keep Forget-Me-Not on his radar. While working with the X-Men, he fought against the Brood, moved to Utopia with the rest of the team, and was a soldier during the Age of X. He actually saved the X-Men countless times, like a walking problem, but a legend, showing up at just the right moment to help with the enemies like the Brood or the Super Sentinels. After the X-Men split into two factions, Forget-Me-Not moved to Westchester with Wolverine's side of the team. After Professor X died, Forget-Me-Not was one of the people who mourned him. But since no one remembered him and he lost that constant connection to others, he spiraled into a very deep depression. At one point, he even tried to get rid of his powers altogether, seeking out Omega and Mimic. He asked Omega to drain him of his abilities, but then changed his mind when he realized that he could still make a difference in the world, even if no one noticed. I would drain the powers. I would get rid of them very, very quickly. He went back to living at the Jean Grey School for Higher Learning and occasionally patrolled the grounds. But it's like, why wouldn't he just ask Jean to set a reminder to remind her who he was? That's fine. One day, he ran into a disfigured girl who either wanted to join the outcasts of the X-Men or she would die trying. Forget-Me-Not helped her sneak past the mansion's defenses by stepping into the trap himself, and as they hung out, he told her all about his life. Eventually, she left, but he ended up stuck in the trap, joking that even the school's defenses would forget he was there. Turns out he was right. They eventually let him go, but not before he ended up with a scarred, balding back of the head, probably thanks to the system itself. Later, Dr. Nemesis started picking up on weird clues, like Psylocke forgetting things, security footage showing strange anomalies at the X Mansion, for example. With help from Hope Summers, who was pretending to be Mimi, Nemesis pieced together that someone was operating behind the scenes and used patterns like supply usage and toilet paper to track Forget-Me-Not. They teleported him to the inactive SHIELD helicarrier Pericles, which the X-Force was using as a base, and tried to subdue him. Nemesis recorded an explanation for the team and left a note telling them to re-watch the recording every time they took a coffee break, because otherwise they'd forget who they were chasing. Over the course of what felt like a decade of loops, X-Force kept hunting Forget-Me-Not through the helicarrier, completely unaware that Phantom X could actually remember him the entire time. While all this was going on, Forget-Me-Not saw a bunch of stuff, some awkward, some disturbing, including a borderline erotic moment between Phantom X and Mimi, Marrow's descent into madness, and Cable and Psylocke's romantic escapades. He even befriended the ship's maintenance bots, who were the only ones that could consistently remember who he was. Eventually, he got through to Nemesis, thanks to Nemesis being hyped up on hyper coffee, and agreed to help the team with their latest plan. The idea was to suppress his powers long enough to make himself visible, so no one of the mysterious yellow eye drones would lock into him. Then he'd reactivate his powers so they could track the drone back to its base. Unfortunately, the drone could still see him, and Phantom X ended up shooting him to scare the drone off. Everyone forgot about him again, assuming he was dead, and his body was quietly taken away by the maintenance bots. Meanwhile, as Cable and Marrow interrogated Volga, Hope Summers discovered that Mimi's last bit of consciousness had somehow taken control of the maintenance bots on the helicarrier, and that Mimi had actually saved Forget-Me-Not when Phantom X shot him. When the X-Force got back from mission involving the now evil Phantom X attacking spy agencies, Forget-Me-Not reintroduced himself to the team. Marrow immediately attacked him, but Cable stopped her when Forget-Me-Not said that they're under Hope's orders. He had Marrow touch the comatose Hope, who then mimicked Marrow's healing powers and was able to move her body to a nearby computer. She showed the team that Cable had been manipulating Phantom X into attacking these groups all along. Already forgotten again, Forget-Me-Not threw Psylocke at Hope so she could mimic Psylocke's telepathy and send out her memories and emotions to the rest of X-Force, as well as give away their position to Phantom X. As Forget-Me-Not explained, this was part of Hope's plan. Cable got furious, but Marrow knocked him out before things escalated. The rest of the team was about ready to give up, but Forget-Me-Not, still completely forgotten, urged them to keep fighting Phantom X and weaken him, as per Hope's strategy. Thanks to the distraction from Domino, Psylocke, and Marrow, Forget-Me-Not snuck up behind Phantom X, slapped a teleport tag on him, and had Hope, in classic comedic fashion, touch his butt to copy his powers. Then he had Nemesis teleport Phantom X out of there directly next to the sun. As they watched from the lab, both Nemesis and Forget-Me-Not saw him drifting toward Earth, and Hope finally woke up. As Hope and Nemesis, who she'd copy powers from, raced to find a cure for both Cable and Phantom X, Forget-Me-Not stuck with them the entire time, cheering them on. When they realized time was running out, he even suggested releasing an army of Cable's clones on Phantom X, and Hope seemed on board with it. Eventually, Forget-Me-Not reappeared on Krakoa, the new mutant nation. He joined Nightcrawler's peacekeeping team called the Legionaries, working alongside Juggernaut. But as usual, only Nightcrawler and Cortez seemed to actually remember him. Forge was apparently working on a device to help with that. As part of the team, Forget-Me-Not helped interrogate Paulie the Paul DaCosta at the Green Lagoon about the murder of his wife, Lisa. When things got heated, he had Juggernaut burst in and haul Paulie off into the station. He also tried to have a heart-to-heart with Lost, but she kept forgetting he was even there. In the end, Forget-Me-Not made the ultimate sacrifice. When Warlock, a longtime X-Men ally, was hijacked by Orchis, an anti-mutant terrorist group, Forget-Me-Not gave his life to stop him and protect Krakoa from Nimrod. But he wasn't gone for long. Like many others who were killed by Orchis, he was resurrected by the Five inside the White Hot Room, following orders from Ascani, and sent back to Earth to help Apocalypse take the fight to Orchis. So that is Forget-Me-Not. He is a rather tragic character, but I still find it funny. I think, I don't know, it's just kind of funny. So, like always, I have some comics for you to check out if you want to get to know more about Forget-Me-Not. Like always, these are the ones I've read. If you have more that you think I should check out, please let me know in the comments because I want to check them out. So, starting off, Legion of X Volume 1, X-Force Volume 4, X-Men Legacy Volume 2, Number 300, X-Men Forever Volume 1, Number 2. So, I hope you enjoyed this character breakdown. I hope you learned something, and I hope you'll like and subscribe. With that being said, have a marvelous day.